Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen, the channel that brings you your daily updates on Glasgow Rangers, one of the biggest teams in world football. If you need your Rangers fix, this is the channel to come to. Hit that sub, ring that notification bell, all for free, guys. Daily content, daily updates, speculation, rumours, hopefully signings coming this week once the transfer window opens on the 14th, live streams during the season, podcasts like last night's podcast, the Q&A with Victoria and myself. And guys, the Q&A last night is pretty much represents what we do as a channel. We are a fan channel. We are a fan-run channel, a fan-driven channel. I am a Rangers fan, have been since 1987. Victoria is a Rangers fan as well, was born in the city of Glasgow, was raised in there, moved to Canada when she was 14 years old. Both of us die-hard Rangers fans, running the channel for you, the fan. Now, if you want to join, hit that sub, ring that notification bell. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, you can become a member, a Glasgow Rangers Nation loyal, by hitting the join button down below here or on the channel homepage. For little as 99p, less than a cup of coffee, less than a McDonald's, guys, bargain price. Or you can hit the super thanks button and donate a little bit of money to the channel to support if you wish. Anyway, let's get on with the reason you came here. We're going to talk transfers. We're going to talk Adam Devine. We're going to talk Michael Beale. We're going to talk Rangers Football Club. Now, if all these signings that have been rumoured come off, are we going to call this a Beale revolution? Are we going to say Beale ball is in full effect? Are we? Is that what we're going to do? Could do, couldn't we? Could be a thing. We'll think about it, guys. We'll think about it. We'll decide whether it's a good thing or not. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this young man here. Let's talk about Sam Lammers. Yes, Sam Lammers is the Dutch centre forward who was on loan at Sampdoria. Yes, that's where Michael Beale went to watch a game, guys. He was on loan from his parent club, Atalanta, where he signed there from Dutch side Devine for around about, I think it was 8 million, I think in the end he was signed for. Now he has endured somewhat of a disappointing, tough time in Italy. And Italy's one of those leagues where as a centre forward you either make it or you seem to just fail abysmally. It certainly isn't a league where you are, where you can kind of be an average striker. You kind of one thing or the other. It's a defensive league, and perhaps the football doesn't really suit Lammers, or at least that's what I suppose we've got to kind of think about. Now, it appears that the deal for Lammers is well on the way to being done after the Atalanta boss gave the deal the green light. Rumour has it is a £3 million price tag for Lammers, which obviously is substantially less than Atalanta paid for him when they signed him from Heerenveen. Now, it's rumoured as well that Lammers will be in Glasgow over the next 48 hours to have a medical ahead of agreeing a deal to join Rangers. Now, we all know that Michael Beale needs new number 9s. He needs a new striker after Alfredos. Who's Alfredos? No, Alfredo Morelos even left. And apparently he's now saying that Antonio Cholak is free to leave as well, and is apparently rumoured to be interesting several Bundesliga teams. Now, we know that Rangers are also negotiating with Searle Desairs, but Atalanta's Dutch striker who hit 11 goals, that's Desairs hit 11 goals. Lammers obviously has struggled in Italy to score goals. Now, apparently, Atalanta boss Gian Piero Gasparini, who's just signed a new deal with Atalanta, is ready to cash in on Lammers. The 26-year-old is believed to be keen on a move to Ibrox, and talks are set to ramp up this coming week. It's believed Michael Beale wants both Sam Lammers and Searle Desairs to bolster his forward line and add, obviously, some firepower to try and overthrow that lot from across the city. Obviously, we do need strikers. We do need more firepower up front. As Michael Beale often said, didn't he, during his press conferences last year, that one of the substantial weaknesses we had as a team, that whilst we created chances, which we did create chances, didn't we? We just didn't take them. We weren't the most clinical team. We didn't take enough shots. We didn't put the ball in the back of the net enough. And Beale feels that, by signing new strikers like Desairs and Lammers, it really could add that firepower. Now, many people have raised doubts about Sam Lammers as a striker. Now, why have they raised doubts about Sam Lammers as a striker? Well, let's look back on the stats that I shared with you in yesterday's video. Lammers was a striker who came through the system at PSV Eindhoven, which obviously is a great club to come through. Young PSV, he did well, 30 goals in 63 games. PSV 4 in 20. Heerenveen, like I said, 31 in 16, which was a pretty, had a pretty good season with Heerenveen and looked very, very talented. And that's one of the reasons that it inspired Atalanta to pay the £8 million for him. He then went to Atalanta, where he made 17 appearances, scoring only 2 goals. Spent time on loan at Frankfurt, where he only scored 1 goal. He was in the squad that unfortunately beat us in the Europa League final. He went to Empoli as well, 1 in 14. Sampdoria, 1 in 11. So it wasn't the best of performances, shall we say, by Lammers. 3 goals in his in recent time, 5 goals in the last 3 years. Hardly prolific indeed. Now, I know what you're all thinking out there. You're all thinking, why on earth is Michael Beale interested in bringing someone like Sam Lammers to the club? What is the reason behind the signing of Lammers? He isn't prolific, Owen. He's not the striker we need, Owen. We need someone who's going to score 20 to 25 goals a season or 25 to 30 goals a season. Now, I heard many of you obviously have mentioned Josh Maja, but the Maja deal, obviously, like I said in yesterday's video, is held up by the fact that Bordeaux do need to obviously play their final game of the season to determine their future, and obviously that will determine Josh Maja's future. So Sam Lammers. Now, obviously, back when he played for Heerenveen, when he played PSV, he was very, very highly thought of, even earning comparisons to Marco van Basten. Technically very skillful, could go past people, reasonably quick for a big man, good in the air, linked play well, was certainly someone who had potential. And, if we'd been signing him, 3-4 years ago, you'd have been paying 8, 9, 10 million pounds for him. But obviously now he has struggled in Italy. Michael Beale must see something in this player. Now, look, I get it. I 100% get why we would have doubts in him. I understand that. I have doubts myself. Of course I do. I don't, particularly rate his stats, but stats are only part of it. I once heard a player say about the SPL that, you can have all the stats in the world, the greatest stats in the world, but the SPL is quite like anything else in the world. And the old firm, which is a million miles an hour, is definitely unlike anything else in the world. And sometimes you can get players that have done nothing in previous clubs come to Scotland and succeed because they suit the type of football. Now, that's obviously what Beale must be hoping with Lammers. Now, Lammers obviously is a concern. I 100% get that. But, guys, what we've got to do, we've got to trust Michael Beale, haven't we? Beale has brought in Todd Cantwell, he's brought in Nicholas Raskin. Both have been great successes. Cantwell, for instance, was out of favour at Norwich, was not rated at Norwich near the end of his career, and definitely would have fallen out of favour with the manager. Look at the success he is here at Rangers. That has certainly got to be for, the hope for Lammers. Now, I know what people are saying, 3 million, 3.5 million, whatever it is. That's a risk, Owen. That's a huge risk. Get it. 100% get it. What signing isn't? Whether you pay 3 million for a striker, 6 million, 9 million, 100 million, 150 million for a striker, it's a risk. It's a huge risk. Let's take some examples from the past. Liverpool sold Torres to Chelsea. Chelsea paid a vast sum of money for Fernando Torres, for Hernan Crespo, for Andrei Shevchenko. All were a complete disaster at the club, never really scored many goals at all. Yet Shevchenko was an outstanding striker, one of the best in world football, as was Fernando Torres. There's stories right across football, isn't there, of players who've been so highly rated, have been phenomenal and then go somewhere and are just an utter disaster. Maybe that's what's happened to Lammers. Now, I'm not saying for a minute that Lammers is in the same class as a Shevchenko, a Crespo or a Torres. Certainly not saying that. But I guess what we need to do is trust in Michael Beale, trust in the signing, and hope that, that Beale can refine the player that was at Heerenveen, the player that, really did succeed at Heerenveen. That's got to be what we hope for the future, rather than just saying, no, he's rubbish. And look, I'm guilty as charged of saying that as well. But we've got to get behind these players. Once they pull on that royal blue shirt, we get behind them, we support them no matter what. And that's got to be a big thing, we've got to do. Now, these 4 players are rumoured to be close to obviously signing for Rangers. That is all the talk in the media. It's all about Searle, it's all about Sam Lammers, it's all about Jonathan Panzo, it's all about Jose Cifuentes. Now, the rumours that are currently doing the rounds is that Rangers hope to splurge up to £10 million in cash on these 4 players to bring them into the club to strengthen the team going into next season. And it's hoped that those deals can be done very soon, certainly, hopefully, even this week with the transfer window opening on Wednesday. The Cyril Dessers deal, apparently Rangers are back in negotiating with him. The Cifuentes deal is, by all accounts, close and closing in. And the hopes of bringing Cifuentes to Glasgow before, obviously, the January transfer window when he will be a free signing is very high indeed. So it does seem, according to a number of media sources, that these 4 deals could be done in the near future. If that's the case, that would bring to 7 the number of signings made by Rangers this summer as the Michael Beale revolution rolls on, as we seek to build that team for the future, build that team that is going to overthrow that lot from across the city and show them that, the best team in Scotland, as we all know, is Glasgow Rangers. Now, one of those 4 players is Jonathan Panzo. Now, as I mentioned on the video yesterday, Panzo is thought to be now favouring a move to Rangers, and apparently a deal is very close to being struck, according to media reports today. Now, Coventry City were interested in securing the services of Jonathan Panzo after a very impressive loan spell with the club. However, now it is a case that Panzo is very, very close to a £2.5 million deal to come to Ibrox, according to multiple sources, not only north of the border, with like the Daily Record, the Glasgow Times, but also down south, including local papers in this area. Now, I live in the Coventry area. I live near to that scummy city, Coventry. It's a horrible place, guys. Really disgusting place. Makes Clyde bang like Las Vegas. Now, it is a case that they are pretty much figured now that they are going to miss out on signing Jonathan Panzo. Even the Nottingham local papers are reporting that a deal with Rangers is extremely close, and they are in advanced negotiations over a £2.5 million transfer of Panzo to Rangers. Rangers are thought to be the favoured team for Panzo because of the fact, obviously, that Rangers can offer him the chance to win silverware and to compete in Europe. Certainly something that Coventry City could never, ever do. So why not come here? He is a good player. He's a tough tackler. He reads the game well. He's had some, particularly successful spells. He's played for Monaco. He's played for Forest. He's played at a number of different levels and is he's experienced for such a young player. So that could be a quality addition that is made this week. Now, further stories surround this man here. If the signing of Jonathan Panzo goes through, it looks highly likely that this would be the end for Ben Davies. Rumour has it there are several Championship clubs in pursuit of Davies, and that the Rangers will sell once the price is right. Club are thought to want £4 million for Davies. Now, it had been reported earlier that Davies is not on the chopping block, and Davies was certainly someone that Rangers were likely to keep hold of. However, it now emerges, given the fact that they are likely to sign Jonathan Panzo, add that obviously into Connor Goldson, the renewed great form of John Souttar, Leon King, that Rangers are, in fact, that Dujon Sterling as well, forgive me, can also play at centre-back. Looks like to spell the end of Ben Davies' time in Glasgow. Davies is felt to be a little bit too weak, a little bit too lightweight to play in Scottish football. Some particularly bad performances at times against certain teams, including that lot from across the city, it is thought cost Davies his place with Glasgow Rangers. Final story to discuss this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on whenever you are picking up, is Adam Devine. Now, Adam Devine made the following comment about his first team future and his ability to get games at Glasgow Rangers. Now, obviously, the fact that Devine plays right back is obviously an automatic disadvantage for him, given the fact that Rangers captain James Tavernier is our starting right back. Adding to that, the fact that Rangers have invested this summer in Dujon Sterling, who can also play right back. However, Adam Devine, talking to media, said that Michael Beale had told him this. The manager has told me I just need to bide my time. It's felt that this comment obviously means that Beale is very much intending to keep Devine as part of his plans going into the new season and give Devine some opportunities to impress. Adam Devine, who can play right back, he can play left back, and he's obviously a very promising young player who's come through our youth system, and Many fans obviously want to see Devine given an opportunity to play. He did get on in the last game of the season against St Mirren, for example, but obviously has seen his first team opportunities limited not only by suspension but also by injury this season. As many Rangers players have been injured, we know we've had an injury curse, don't we? But it looks now like Devine, like Robbie McCrory, who was told to bide his time as well, will eventually get their opportunity for the first team. Good news indeed for Adam Devine. Well, Rangers fans, let me know in the comments below what you think of any of the stories from this morning's video. And remember, guys, if you've loved the content, hit the sub, ring the notification bell, and give the video a like. It does help out. If you want to join the membership scheme, please feel free to hit that join button below. Thank you for watching. Remember, guys, we are the people.